Shalom.
Shalom.
When it's off, souls by giving no praise to Yahweh,
Praise to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Right, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honesty bows in the work of the Most High, truth and sincerity. Brother Razar Maf, London camp.
Brother Napash.
Kanye, we just going to do a quick video where the Spirit leads on what the mark of the beast isn't. All right, so we're going to start on what the mark of the beast is. So, without further ado, you got it.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great.
So small being your regular Joe, your great being, for instance, your celebrity, your famous person.
And great.
Yeah.
Rich and poor.
Right, so, your Jeff Bezos and us. Mm-hmm. People not low, your regular Joe.
Yeah. And bond,
mm-hmm.
so free and bond,
yeah,
to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right, now the word there for mark in the Greek is a charagma, which basically goes into something inserted into you, right? So this particular mark is going to be something that is inserted inside you, right? You said you don't have your book because it's I haven't got it, but in the prologue of Sirach.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, so you got it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just couldn't find it straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just get it now. You want prologue, yeah?
Yeah, the prologue.
Alright, cool. Yeah.
When it's talking about things uttered in another tongue.
Can. So this is... This is the prologue of the wisdom of Yahushai, the son of Sirach. It says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favour and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have laboured to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what's this going into? It's going into the fact when you translate things from one language into another, right, it loses this, what the original meaning was. For instance, you think of jokes, right? You have certain comedians, or you have someone, you might meet a Spanish person, and they're making jokes in Spanish, and what was that joke? And then they translate, and it's just not funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it loses all its flavour.
Yeah. Right? And now the English is a bastard tongue. You think about all of the different influences that have come into the English. Right, so for instance, you got the age-old example of world, where there's like 3 or 4 different Greek words for the word world. So you're reading John 3:16, you're thinking that it's meaning everybody, right? But then when you actually get the understanding of the scriptures, you actually understand that, this is actually meaning a particular group of people, right? And it's the same thing here in the Greek for the word charagma, right, which is going into, like I said, an imprinted mark. Now, when you then read, was Ezekiel 9 and 4, it's a mark.
Yeah, I'll get that
Yep.
for you. Yeah, it's Ezekiel 9 and 4.
Ezekiel 9. You don't have to go. You can get what you're getting. Just making a point,
yeah.
Right? Of, when you read that, you're thinking, is it the same mark? Is it a different mark? This, that, and the other. But no, the Hebrew word there is tawar, which is going into a mark of exemption, right?
Yeah, let's read that quickly.
Okay, you can
right. Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right, so, we don't need to describe who those men that are doing that are.
Yeah.
Right?
And to the others, he said in mine heart, so these are the ones that didn't get that mark in their foreheads, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah.
Slay utterly.
So even as you're reading, I'm really thinking the Lord's basically got it whereby in these last days you're going to get a mark.
Yeah.
One is a mark to your destruction, and one is a mark that is exemption from destruction. Right? The one that is a mark to your destruction is the mark of the beast, right? Which is that charagma, that thing that's going to be inserted inside you. The thing that is the next technological advancement. Because I remember Apostle Paul was saying, look, the chip as a technological advancement makes sense. However, the Most High said, don't get it. So if you get it, you're going to be destroyed.
Yeah. Which the beast is the European Union and NATO,
Yep.
which is the power structure of Esau.
That's it.
Okay, with Esau as being the Edomites, the devils that are running this world right now.
That's it.
Okay, so you're either going to bow down to them and take their mark, or you're going to bow and to Yahweh Shemi Shai and get
Take his mark.
Yeah.
Again,
You
receive his mark.
right.
Right, his righteous mark, because as
Right.
Apostle Tahar spoke on recently, the mark of the beast is the most highest mark anyway, right?
Yeah, which on the right hand side, which you want to be being in the name of Yahweh
Yep.
Shemi Shai, having your name written in the book of life, having that name, pretty much, man. If you're signing and crying for the abominations, which we do in these epistles, that's what we're doing. Okay, exposing, breaking down strongholds.
Yeah,
The Lord, that means you're of the elect. The Lord's going to give you that mark of exemption. From what? The judgment.
yeah. Can I get something on what you were just speaking on? This is Isaiah 31:1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help."
Yeah.
So woe to them that go down to what's the modern day Egypt, modern day Pharaoh. Referring to modern day Pharaoh will be your what's this guy Trump, whatever, what have you. Egypt, Revelation 11:8, representing America, right? So basically, people that go down to this devil Esau for help, right? That will trust in his mark as opposed to the mark of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? That mark of exemption. What would you have to do for that mark of exemption? You've got to do the work.
Yeah.
Right. Scriptures talk about the angel of the Lord is upon them that fear him. Right. Encampeth around them that fear them in Psalms 32nd chapter.
Yeah.
Right. So it says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because there are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So they don't have the faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right, they'd rather that carnal mark that Esau was given than doing the labor and getting the spiritual mark, that thawat, that exemption from judgment.
Yeah. Why didn't it say here, and set a mark upon the foreheads and in the right hand?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't it say that? Or no, it didn't say that. Why? Because this mark actually is, it's a spiritual mark in a sense. It's the mark, it's the understanding of the scriptures, the knowing Yahweh Shemi Shai, being exempt, Whereas the mark of the beast, like the Bible we're going into, the charagma, is actually a physical thing. When John was seeing the vision, he was seeing people getting actually implanted, whether it's in their hands, in their foreheads. You got the brain chip, Elon Musk. Okay, this is a reality, man. Okay, and like Apostle Hard did the video very recently, he said, we've always known the truth, pretty much. GMS always had the truth. They've been teaching that the mark of the beast is the chip for the longest, man. Okay, and that's
before the technology really was there, because
it was prevalent like that. Yeah.
Because I still remember when England went from chip and pin. From signature to chip and pin, and that was an advancement. And then soon after that, I don't even remember how easy it was for England. I'll speak for London, because I live in London, and London's not necessarily an example of all of England. But however, that transition from chip and pin to contactless here was easy because the technology was it. But this was maybe after 2010, 2011, 2012, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's just we had 2G back then and all that one.
GPRS.
GPRS. We're in the time of 5G now.
Yeah, exactly.
The infrastructure set up for it.
Exactly.
So I'll drop that. To go back to. I had a quick preset.
Yeah.
This is actually I'll get that after Revelation. Yeah. This is back in Revelation chapter 13, and let me just finish off 16. Free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So we broke down what the word in the Greek is, but we said what it is yet.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the chip. It's the RFID, NFC, the implantable chip. Whatever phrase they want to put in front of it, it's basically you getting chip put inside you.
Yeah.
Right.
You're getting a digital device put inside your body.
Yeah, a microchip. Yeah. So it says, and that no man might buy or sell.
Ooh. So no man might buy or sell.
Right. Save he that had the mark.
That's it. So one thing that I think about here, because this RFID mark shit, this is going to be the next. You think about World War II. After World War II, you had the advent of passports as you see them now, right? Now we're in a technological age where basically people but you might counterfeit that passport, it might not be real. So the next logical step that this man's going to push is this idea of this chip, which once again is going to be inside you. So you ain't going to be able to be like, I'm someone else. No, it's going to be inside you, right? Now with this mark of the beast, with this chip, with this technology, it's going to be identification. It's going to be your bank. It's going to be everything. Now, if you think about here in the laws that are set in the UK, if you haven't got a valid passport and visa in the UK, you can't open a bank account. You can't rent anywhere. You want to rent, right? Your landlord has a legal obligation to confirm that you are able to stay in the country or not, right? And you can't get a job because once again, your boss has to confirm that you are able to work in the country, right? So the chip is going to be identification. So just on that point alone, if you haven't got the chip, they ain't going to be able to prove whether you're able to work or live in that particular country. So then on that note alone, you ain't going to be able to buy or sell, because if you can't live and you can't work, you can't make any money, how are you going to get a job? Right, and it's going to go further than that, because all of these different central banks have been pushing recently, this digital dollar, for example, where they're basically pushing this idea of digital currency. Now, if you haven't got a medium to store that digital currency, to identify you as part of that digital currency, if you haven't got that particular medium, you ain't going to be able to participate. So like, for instance, if you want to go to, you got Pret a Manger here in the UK, it's a coffee shop, right? They no longer accept cash, right? So you got certain organizations where if you haven't got a credit card, a bank card, or whatever, you cannot go to that shop. You can't go there. If I'm a homeless man and I've got enough cash, I can't have a coffee at Pret because they will not accept cash anymore. And it's going to become more and more like that in these days to come, until you get to a point where if you haven't got a digital means of buying, you ain't going to be able to buy.
So, if I may say, now let's look at the blockchain technology. When the digital currencies such as Bitcoin first came out, the thing about blockchain was autonomous. It wasn't centralized. Okay, so it was peer to peer, and a lot of things like that. You had the download systems like Morpheus and Bazaar and all that.
Yeah,
going back, LimeWire, okay, peer to peer. But those things get shut down. Why? Because Esau wants to have control and centralize all that. Okay, so you can make a buck out of it. Now, these banks are not any different. These central banks are part of the power structure of Esau, okay? And they dish out to the retail banks. Like the Bank of England here is a central bank, and that sets the interest rate that all the other banks work off, and lends to the banks as well with interest. That's why the interest rate is there. Now with the blockchain, if you notice, when the Bitcoin and all that was still first popping, right? When it was first going off a couple of years ago, what were all these central banks saying in the articles? They were saying, oh, we don't know, it's illegal, it's bullshit, don't rely on it. But all of a sudden now they've centralized this blockchain for themselves. They basically centralized the system, and they can actually control it. Now they've got, and this is always a part of their lease plan. It was all part of their plan. Now they've got they've got their own digital currencies come out. So this was their plan all along.
And recently, it's funny you even raised it, because just yesterday, a bloody PayPal basically said, okay, we're going to start accepting payments using cryptocurrencies.
Right.
So what happened to the price of Bitcoin? It went up.
Yeah.
Right. And there was one geezer on there sent me a screen grab basically of a BMW dealership, basically saying we accept payment in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So what's that going into? That's going into this idea of these digital currencies, which is just going to tie in perfectly with the mark of the beast.
Can't. And also the brother mentioned earlier, you mentioned about when you go to a bank, what you need? You need identification, so on, because the mark of the beast is also going to be identification. Okay? It's like when you go, if someone has a credit card that isn't theirs and they use it, what's that credit card fraud? Okay? Because only the person who owns that credit card is meant to be able to use that credit card to purchase things. Okay? Now, when you go to a bank and you want to set up a bank account, there's a thing known as KYC, which means know your customer. So you have to prove where your current address is, that you're actually living somewhere, you have residential rights, and you have to show a passport of who you are, the details, and it's all got it's got a line on the passport.
And your right to abode.
right to abode. If you go onto a passport, right, go to your passport, look at the bottom, and it's got these like lines. That's called the MRZ line, and that identifies what
Machine readable.
machine readable, something,
machine
which is
readable
pretty much that shows what that passport is, and it identifies it to you and the information to do with it.
It's a global system, mind
Yeah.
you, because I'm from what Donald Trump calls a shithole country, and even my passport has that MRZ. Right, what does that go into? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Yeah. Now there's old IDs that didn't have that MRZ line, but that all got changed. Like you had old Romanian or old French IDs. That's all been updated. So that's how you know we're in the times. I got a quick precept. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It said, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Now all this knowledge we're bringing out to do with it, that solidifies, and the infrastructure built around it. That's part of our faith, of knowing that this is the chip. Okay. Now you got groups out there that say that the chip that the mark of the beast isn't the chip, and they'll teach, for example, that it's Christianity. You know, but can you buy and sell with Christianity? What's that got to do with buying and selling? What infrastructure has been set up for every person on the earth for Christianity? I mean, it's a popular religion, you know, a false religion, a popular religion, but what's that got to do with all? You know, this is actually that's going to be something that's set. I don't know what that precept is about the all.
Oh no, I found it for you.
It's Baruch Shah, but hey, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you make yourself a perpetual servant unto someone, you used to get the all in the scriptures. But the modern day all is the mark of the beast.
That's it.
To make yourself a perpetual servant to who? To Edom.
Yeah, which we read in Isaiah 31st chapter, because Esau's going to present you. He's going to. That's why you're seeing what's happening in the world right now. The poverty that's being pushed and the famines that are being created, because that's what they're being. They're being created, right? And basically, we're going to end up at a point where these people are going to be like, "Oh, but I can't eat. Oh, it's just a chip. I'm going to put it inside me, and then I'll be able to eat." But what are we going to do? We're going to be like, "Nope. Scripture says that, what do you call it, if I don't take this chip, the Lord's going to take care of me anyway." Right? See, what we're looking forward to is the time when the Lord is going to start preparing these miracles. That's what we're looking forward to. But we've read the scripture, we've heard about how Elijah was fed by ravens. The Lord sent a bird, right, to bring Elijah food to eat. Right?
Quick precept.
Bring it out.
Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience,
That's it.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." Now, if you're a Christian, okay, you're going to get destroyed anyway because you don't know the truth, okay. But people are saying it's Christianity. So if you have what does that mean? If you got Christianity, then you're you can buy and sell. That don't make sense. It's not a white woman either. You got a white, you have a white woman. You know the apostles. You know.
Yeah, you could. As we were speaking about earlier on, there aren't enough so-called white women on the face of the planet Earth for every. What did the scripture say? Well, the scripture says, "Calls all, both small and great." So everyone is going to be forced. This is going to be a global thing.
Yeah.
There aren't enough Edomite women in the world. So you got Edomite, you got to give an so-called Hamite, not a so-called African, which are the Hamites. You got to give him an Edomite woman so he can go and buy and sell with the Edomite woman. There aren't enough Edomites on the face of the planet Earth, man.
Yeah.
Right? There are a billion so-called Moabites are over there, a billion so-called Indians. The scriptures don't say that Edom will be as the sand of the sea. No, scripture says that Israel will be as the sand of the sea. So it ain't no damn Edomite women, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Now I've got a quick precept on something.
And I've got the all for you
Oh,
when you're ready. When you're ready.
Yeah, you read it all first, but sure.
You want that, yeah?
Yeah.
This is Exodus 21:2. It says that if thou bar a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she hath borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an all, and he shall serve him forever.
Yeah. So modern day all, okay, because remember, I think it was Moses Amschel Rothschild. He was a rabbi, okay, and he's the father of Meyer Amschel Rothschild, which is the fourth. You know, he had the five sons.
Yeah, the Bowers.
The Bowers.
Yeah.
Okay. They've gone into they know things of the scriptures, man. They don't understand it. None of the wicked understand, but they know certain things. They've got scholars and all that. Okay.
Well, they have the records.
They have the
more
records.
records than we have access
Yeah.
to. You think about the Vatican vault. I can only imagine what's down there.
Yeah, and they through what they know, they you know, they do things on the left hand side. Okay, like for example, they know about the all thing. So what do? They're pushing that. Okay, but through what? The mark of the beast, which is prophesied in Revelation the 13th chapter. That's how they're gonna get their control. That's how they're gonna make you in their mind a perpetual slave. Now in Job 20, which I can quickly just grab it. It says in Job 20, it says, right, I'm sorry. Bear with me. In Job 20, it says that they're not actually going to be able to fulfill, right? Sorry, man. It's all stuck. This is all scriptures. Right, this is Job chapter 20, and it says verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So just when he thinks he's about to fulfill his new world agenda, he's got all these people chipped and all that in the world, but Yahushua is going to come and put an end to all this, man. Okay, and those people that have taken the chip, Revelation 14 and 19.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, sorry. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, now listen up, for all you guys out there that teach and believe that it's an embargo. If any man worship the beast and his image,
straight into the
and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So
that's the judgment. If you take the chip, which is the mark of the beast. So there ain't all these other things that people are teaching, man.
That's it.
Which is why we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. You got to know this truth. And the truth's at Great Millstone, starting with our apostles and elders, man. Because the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai is dealing through us.
That's it. I got a closing precept.
Okay.
What? This is just on the point you made. This is Revelation 20. If you got more, you can bring it out. This is Revelation 20 and 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them which were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands.
Are you gonna cut the head off the nations? They embargo and put an embargo on it. That'll do nothing, man.
What's that thing? Occam's razor. The simplest solution is more than likely the realist.
Yahushua said the simplicity. Now you got simplicity in me. When the Lord reveals these dark sayings, you understand.
That's it.
You know, and the secrets are for the prophets, man. So recognize, starting with our apostles and elders, recognize what it is.
This is all in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. Now you're telling me, right? Embargoes are applied to nations, right? Or you telling me you're going to get certain nations that ain't going to bow down and get an embargo and reign with Yahweh Shai? No, the scriptures talk about when this destruction happens, right, and all the works therein shall be destroyed, man. Right, these ideas of nations that you see, those don't exist in the scriptures. Right, there are only 17 nations in the script, 18 nations. So I'd already wiped out the Edomites. Already 18 nations in the scriptures, right? Not 100, 200 that we have. So that's part of the works of this particular kingdom, right? So not all of that is absolute BS, man.
Correct. Yeah. I have a closing precept. Psalms 37 verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him, because the Lord's you have to wait. We have a waiting, like waiting for Yahushua to return. Okay, we see these prophecies unfolding. It says, fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because at the moment it seems like these guys have got it, that they're prospering. Now we know that the joke's on them. It says, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass, right, which is Esau, man. Okay, it says, cease from anger and forsake wrath, Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. You know, and the Lord's going to keep the elected nation of Israel from the hour of temptation, man. And he's going to be saved out of it, pursuant to Jeremiah the 30th chapter. You know, and part of that is knowing the truth, knowing what it is, you know, and what it isn't. Yeah, that's it, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, as always, you know, laws of those edifying. You know, until the next time, you know, we're going to close by saying, give no praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Karkadash. Double honest apostles of GMS.
Double honest.
Honestly, I was in the work of the Most High, truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.